We're so close. We're like almost to the finish line of getting knocked up. Well, and Shane kind of on the phone call was like, well, I guess we'll just do a boy of each. I don't know. Do we reveal the second name?
Who cares? This
Okay.
is so exciting. You guys are like on the journey with us.
Today is actually our embryo transfer day. Everything's been leading up to this day and it's finally here. I couldn't sleep because I was so excited.
Okay, and that's all great and all. But can we stop saying that we're getting pregnant when we're not getting pregnant? Like, it's strange enough when couples are like, oh, hey, we're pregnant. And it's like, okay, I understand you're a couple and you made her pregnant. So now her being pregnant is us being pregnant because it's like the two of you together came together and made this baby and now you're both pregnant. But like, I still think it's fucking strange, weird, and odd to do. And I just think it's even more strange, weird, and odd to do for same-sex couples. Like, you're not getting pregnant and making a baby. You're not even making the baby. You might have donated the seed or the sperm or had your own seed fertilized. But the fact is, you didn't go through the effort of getting pregnant the same way with the same desire. You're going to have a kid, yeah, but it's just not the same thing. It's weird to me. It's always been weird to me when people do this. And like I said, this isn't something that's like, oh no, just because they're gay, so it's strange. No, not at all. I think it's weird when married couples, man and woman, do the same thing and the man's like, oh yeah, we're pregnant. You mean you're expecting a kid? Right? Like, she's pregnant. You're expecting a kid. It's not the same thing. I just think it's weird and strange and very odd. I'm not a fan. I never have been.
Hello, everybody.
It's the best day ever! Oh my gosh, look at my babies!
So today we had a very exciting meeting with our fertility doctor and we're so close. We're like almost to the finish line of getting knocked up. You guys chill out.
I'm so excited.
So we had our meeting with our doctor today to choose which of our 12 embryos will be implanted inside of our surrogate.
Okay.
From what we can see on our end, there isn't like testing for the embryos of saying like which one is the ultimate to put inside.
The ultimate?
I mean, so to my surprise.
That's right. He wants to create the ultimate super baby. And you're just going to have to deal with that one, all right, Shane? You got to deal with it. He wants the ultimate super baby, and he wants to figure out how you can decide scientifically which embryo will do so. That way, you can just get rid of the lesser beings. They're not necessary.
Prize.
Not the Olympics.
The embryos are ranked inside of being usable. So there's like AA, AB, you know. And so the guy, the doctor was going through and he was like, oh, it doesn't look like Ryan has any like females that are AA. And so both, what? Okay, you go for it.
No, you keep on it. Okay, no, you keep. I'm just excited.
We went into this thinking we were going to do a girl of mine and a boy of Shane's. And when he was going through, he was like, well, the most optimal for pregnancy on both of your ends are boys. You have 2 AAs on each side. And Shane was like, well, wait, why don't we just do 2 boys then?
I know, it was weird. Okay.
I'm just confused about, like, so when it's an embryo, they're able to be like, we know that this is going to be a boy or a girl? But how? Because, like, it has to reach a certain point of development for us to know if it's a boy or a girl. So how do they do that when it's an embryo? Like, whatever.
So many things in the universe that made this happen. Number one, for a random reason, I turned on Full House the other night, and they have 2 boys, Nikki and Alex. And I was like, oh my god, why is this so cute? Like, why does 2 boys make sense? Like, wait, are we going to have 2 boys? Like, it was a weird thought in my head. Totally forgot about it. And then, last night, I was like, so we're still going with a boy and a girl, or what if they say that that's not possible? And we just like haven't really fully talked about it because we're like, we're gonna know in the moment. And then in the moment, it was like, boom, it hit me. And then I looked at you, and you were just like,
well, and Shane kind of on the phone call was like, well, I guess we'll just do a boy of each, like without consulting really with me.
I looked at you like, is that?
I was just like, oh, yeah.
So Shane legitimately just tried to communicate with Ryan the way that women communicate with men, and it was completely missed because they're both men, and it's not the way that we communicate as men, so it got lost, but he really tried. He tried. I gave him that look that was like, hey, and it didn't like, use your fucking words for adults. Please. Women, take notes. Even when men do this to other men as gay men, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Please, use your words. We're human beings.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It just makes sense because, number one, they're not going to be identical because there's two different dads. But, wow, drama. No, sorry. There's two different baby daddies. But...
I'm an Avenger. Everywhere I go, people ask me the same thing. Can you take a picture with my dog?
But also, they're going to be so
I'm
different.
not watching that.
We're so polar opposites.
This is a long video.
So,
we're not going to do that
and
to
they'll have
ourselves
each other.
today.
And in a few years down the line, we can have a girl or two girls, and they'll be the older brother of the girl. Like, it just all felt right. But then he's like, well, is a surrogate okay with that? And we're like, we think so, because she's had twins before. We haven't...
Well, and our, like, what we came to terms with her was implanting too. But since we've been talking to her, we haven't really, like, brought up, like, oh, like, are you super okay with implanting too? Because obviously, like, carrying twins is a big thing to do.
Why the fuck? How are you at this point and you didn't talk about, hey, we'd want two? Even though you were planning on two from the beginning, why is this not what you would have discussed from the onset, especially if you've already got a surrogate? That, like, how would the surrogate not already know that two is the plan? This seems terribly, terribly orchestrated. Like, whoever's behind the scenes here is the group that's in charge of making sure that the surrogate is there and healthy and taken care of and isn't going to be, like, a junkie, right? Making sure that they're a fit, suitable person to be pregnant and give birth, as well as you're a fit, suitable person to become a parent or couple to become parents. The fact is, how the hell did you get this far? And they don't know that your plan is two, even though it seems like that's been the plan from the beginning.
And we texted her, and without any hesitation,
Weird.
She was just like, yeah, I'm totally fine with implanting two.
Okay.
Now, I'm not going to get into the specifics. I understand exactly why she'd be okay with it. I do. I really do. Like, there's a higher risk of pregnancy issues. There's a higher risk of issues as the woman carrying twins or triplets. Like, the risks to the mother as well as the babies both increases when you have more babies in there, okay? So, like, there's limited space being occupied by multiple bodies inside of a single body, right? So, obviously, I shouldn't have to explain that beyond that far to say it's just more dangerous the more you got in there. But if you understand the way that the surrogacy works, and you understand that if you're being a surrogate, like, there's all the benefits, like, morally of, I'm helping you have a kid, especially if you're doing that with people who are just, like, they're not fertile, right? They'd love to have a kid, but they're not capable of doing so, so they need a surrogate, right? Like, that's going to be fulfilling. It's not cheap.
Okay, but here's the craziest part. Get ready for this. Okay, first of all, I don't think we really expressed, or I guess we did, because I'm having a full-on hyper-excited panic attack. Or what's the opposite of a panic attack? A fun attack! Ooh, that sounds better. I'm having a fun attack. But yes, two boys. That is, well, here's the thing. We're manifesting.
It's just called being excited.
It's all going to happen the way it's supposed to.
Oh my
if
God.
something happens, because there is a chance of both not, just like in a normal pregnancy.
Two could take, one could take.
it's still a normal pregnancy. That's the thing. Like, you got to understand, it's still a normal pregnancy. Just because you didn't have sex with her to fertilize her eggs to make the baby doesn't mean that the pregnancy is abnormal. Her body is still going to treat the pregnancy like a pregnancy. It's still very much so a normal thing.
Exactly. The surrogate was like, well, there's also the chance that they'll split and you'll have 4 babies. And I was like, ugh.
And I was like, splitting? An embryo splitting? And she goes, well, that's what I...
That's how you normally get twins. The thing is, then you would have legitimate twins. You wouldn't have 2 embryos. You'd have actual twins. Which is why actually probably putting in multiple embryos is an even higher risk, because imagine if one of those ended up being twins and the other one ended up being triplets. Right now, all of a sudden you got 5. That's not even viable for a human. So, at least I don't think so. I'm not a doctor, but I don't think that's a viable thing to go through as a human. So, it's going to be very, that could be very risky to do.
Identical twins are, and I had no idea that that's how that happened.
So there's a chance of anything happening. We're going to be so excited with any outcome that is a healthy child, whether that's 1 or, you know what I'm saying? So we're sitting there,
1
and the
or
doctor's
8.
like, well,
Jesus.
confirm with the surrogate before I, take out the embryos and defrost them. And we're like, okay. So then,
our implantation day is 1 week from today, which is April 18th.
Yes.
It's Tuesday the 11th as we're recording.
Yes. So then I was like, okay, so I texted her, me and him texted her.
In our baby group chat.
And we're just like, hey, like, what about twins? Like, teehee. But also if you don't want to do that, totally get it. It's okay. And then I'm on my way to the bathroom. And I know you guys are going to think I'm crazy, but let me take you through my journey.
Okay, we were sitting...
I actually hope Shane walks around his house like that. Dragging his heels, wrists up and limp. I really hope he does, because it's just stereotypically hilarious to me to imagine that that's how he walks around his house all the time. It's that simple.
Right here on the couch speaking to the doctor on speakerphone, and we're like, okay, well, we'll just check with the surrogate and we'll email you later tonight to confirm. And we hang up with the doctor, and
I stand up, I press send, and I'm like, God, I don't want to ask for her to say yes to this, but like, whatever happens is meant to happen. But whatever. So I go to pee, and I'm walking to go pee, and first I see this. These 2 bottles of tequilas that are twins. But
I was honestly looking at that whole table and going, that's going to be an issue. You got kids.
I'm like,
once they become toddlers, that thing's going to become a fucking problem. Okay? They're going to want to explore that shit's got glass. It's glass that's up high that they can shake and fuck with from down below. And glass falls, it breaks. We all know. We've all done it. Drop something. Gone. Thing is, toddlers don't know that shit's sharp. They also don't know that inside of that glass is alcohol. And if they get cut with that, it's going to burn like a son of a bitch. On the bright side, it'll be sterile. The thing is, it's gonna suck. They're gonna have to definitely take care of some shit, right? Like, that's really what it's coming down to, is they're gonna have to take care of some shit that they just clearly have never thought about taking care of in that regard.
That was weird, but maybe I'm just imagining it. Walking, and then
I should also be clear, considering the fact that it's Pride Month, and this video is going to go up on Pride Month, that the reason that they're going to have to do this is because they don't have kids. Okay? Straight couples have to do the same thing and go through the same process. It looks very similar to what I just said for an amazing amount of people. My grandma nannied kids, like, for very wealthy people, my whole life. So my thought process on it is just not normal. And that'd be where my bias comes from, is my abnormal upbringing with a wealth of knowledge about babies.
See, over under the security cameras, these 2 pigs. Now, ignore the fact that they're kissing.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the best example to show.
But trust me, this is going somewhere, I promise. So I see those 2 pigs, and I'm like, weird. Okay, they're kissing, that's weird. But 2 pigs that are twins, weird. Then I look right above them, and boom, on the security cameras, the pool in 2 different cameras, like twins. And I'm like, okay, now this is getting crazy. So then, I go pee. So then, after I go pee, I come out here to Ryland and I'm like, okay, I have to tell you this weird universe thing. And then, boom, she texts. And she's like, yeah, I'm great with twins. Let's do it. And I was just like, oh my God, the universe. And then I said around, I took him through my journey and I'm like.
So he just prayed to God about this, is according to his story. And now he's thanking the universe. Can we please choose? Like, I don't care what you want to believe in, but can we choose? Also, I'm just going to point out, like, these types of things that might seem completely unconnected, right? The 2 pigs. It doesn't matter that they're kissing. That's just the way that they're posed, but it's 2 pigs that are, like, identical, right? It's the 2 images of the pool. It's all these things that he's seeing that make him think of twins. Now, you can read into that the way that he did and say, like, this is like a sign or a message. Or you can discard it and just be like, yeah, it's all coincidence. Now, here's the thing for me personally. If it happens once, you could be like, yeah, it's coincidence. And I'd be like, yeah, it makes sense. Twice? Because here's the thing. A coincidence to occur just on the earth is an exponential anomaly. Within the universe, it's an expectation that there's another person somewhere in the universe living the exact same life that you live. Right? According to astrophysicists and theoretical physicists, it's 100% what's going on somewhere in the universe. There's another being, might not look like we look, but it's living the exact same life that you live here on Earth. So, at that incredibly massive rate, one time is almost a guarantee to exist, according to these people who are very well-known, very well-known people like Neil deGrasse Tyson, for one, as well as very well-educated and knowledgeable on the topic. So, coincidences could occur, but when it happens again and again and again, if it happens 2 or 3 times specifically to you and in a short time frame, you should really start to ask yourself about coincidence. Do you really think that that's just coincidence? And that we all just come from, I don't know, space farts? Or is there something more to it? And something's trying to help guide you towards something bigger, something better, or to a specific place. Be it good or bad, something with a positive or a negative intent for you, something is guiding you then at that point, right? Or is it all just space farts and coincidence?
And then I saw this, and then I saw this, and then I look at the TV stand, and in my head I'm thinking, well, I don't want to tell them about the pigs because they're kissing, and that's weird. So I guess I just won't tell them that part. And then I look at the TV stand, and look what's on the other side. Twin dolphins! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And I told Ryland, I'm like, and then I saw the twin dolphins. But in my head, I'm like, oh, I really saw the kissing pigs. And then Ryland goes, look, there's also twin pigs. And I'm like, I know I saw those too, but I felt weird because they were kissing. It was a whole thing. And then, ding dong, a package arrives. I got Ryland an Easter present that was late. And it came 2 days late. He opens up the package, right? Hold on. And it was our baby's first onesie, which is so cute. And it's for a boy.
Right
for some reason, I was looking at boy and girl stuff and it just felt wrong. The girl, I was like, I think it's going to be a boy. I don't know why. I just feel it. It's weird. So I got this, right? So I give it to him and I'm like, oh, it's a sign. But then in my head, I'm like, but there's only one. So then, I did not know this, I bought a pair. So there was 2.
For boys!
For boys!
Which is so crazy because up until this morning...
Now I'm just going to point out the fact that neither of those have anything significant to show that they're not just unisex. Like, they just don't. Like, typically, for, like, baby clothes, they're unisex, or they're boy or girl. And you can usually tell boy or girl by, like, frilly things, or, like, pink being a color, blue being a color, things of that nature. but just stars in that, like it is a pair, and he bought that looking for boys stuff. But the thing is, so like they're both going to come under the boys banner. The thing is, like, there's nothing about that to really say these are for boys, right?
We thought we were doing a boy-girl, and the first thing he purchased was for 2 boys.
I know, and then some of my other presents.
Or it was like 2 different outfits for 1 boy, because these are footies and this is not. Like, they're not the same outfit. It's the same matching outfit for 2 different outfits for probably the same baby. It is what it is.
Came, so I got a lot of onesies, actually.
Like, what I'm saying is, I think he bought something he doesn't understand what he bought there, and he's seeing it as that sign, which once again could be, maybe not. It's all just space farts, or is there something more guiding you along?
But those came a few hours later. But those are also for boys. There's just a lot going on, and we figured out the names.
Hold on, I wanted to show you a little bit of what he got.
What are you doing here?
Rescuing you!
Hang on!
He had gotten a Ralph Lauren little onesie. It comes with a cute bib and a beanie. He got me a cute white hat that like matches with
it's got the same star thing on it.
A little blanket, and I'm so obsessed with the baby shoes. Burberry baby shoes.
Oh, and then guess what else came today? So
I hate baby shoes. I hate them. And the reason I hate them is because babies don't walk, first of all. And second of all, they're going to outgrow those shoes the moment they fit in them, essentially. And they're typically expensive. Like, for being something that's like as big as your palm, they're fucking expensive. Like, something that small shouldn't cost as much as a lot of the times they do. Like, a lot of times they're comparable to the same cost as like a normal ass kid's shoe, which, depending on the brand, could cost as much as an adult's shoe. So I just hate them. They seem to me like a fucking scam to try and make you buy something expensive that's absolutely useless, just for the effect of you being able to have cute pictures that you can put on social media for your ego.
we were talking about, I think in the previous vlog we talked about the baby's nursery and like my vibe. And I was like, oh, I want like Toy Story clouds like on the walls of the nursery.
That makes sense.
Look what came today. My Clouds cup. It's a sign. This is going in the nursery, babe. And we figured out where the nursery's going to be. There's so much going on. You need to calm me down.
He wants everything to be a sign.
Well, you're getting way ahead of you.
He's also not pointing out, like, if he wants that to be a sign, he's skipping over the fact that it's a blue cup, right? And that would symbolize boys. So, like, he's looking for signs as well, which is important to keep in mind. Hey, Nazer, how's it going? Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yourself. I don't know. Do we reveal the second name
Yes!
for the twin? Okay, so also before we decided on 2 boys, we came up with one other name we liked that just so happened.
Who's here?
It's Orkin. So we had come up with one other boy name before we decided on 2 boys that we were like super jazzed on, and we were going back and forth like, okay, is the boy going to be named Jet, which is what we were talking about previously, which now I'm also saying is going to be Jetson on the birth certificate, but everyone's going to call him Chet.
Yeah.
So now that we have 2 boys, are we really going to reveal like so much in one video?
Who cares? This is so
Okay.
exciting. You
So
guys
this-
are like on the journey with us.
I think Shane just doesn't give a shit what you want to share or how much you want to share, Ryland. He's just excited as hell that the whole thing's going on. That's all there is to it. He doesn't care. He just simply does not care. He's just excited. He's so excited, he has not one fuck to give, sir. Not one.
The second...
Well, should we go to the nursery?
Okay, so yes, if we're living at this house, we also decided what the layout of this house will be, because there are 2 bedrooms that have like a Jack and Jill bathroom.
Which we're not opposed to raising the kids in Colorado, by the way. It's just we're going to be having babies at peak crazy winter in January. That's intense, so I think we're going to at least raise the babies for the first few months here. And then
So as somebody who's like a Colorado native, born and raised there, it depends where you're at in Colorado for how peak crazy you want to call the winter, right? Not only that, but like if you're not in the mountains, the winter's not that crazy. It just isn't. Like, the winter happens, but if you're not in the mountains, it doesn't really get crazy. Because not far from you are the mountains, where the winter is legitimately wild. So that is an important factor. Not to mention the fact that, like, I don't, like, where else are they contemplating on raising kids? And, like, you've got a pool in Colorado. I moved 1,600 miles away to have a house with a pool because of the fact that Colorado having a pool, if it's not indoors and heated, you get like 3 months, and if you're in the mountains, you get less. And not only that, but like the January thing, maybe not. I personally think that you get worse snowstorms October, November when it starts snowing, and you get them again March, April toward the end of winter. That's when I think winter in Colorado is really wild because you get the conflict between hot and cold air, and that creates all the blizzards and the wild snow that they get sometimes. And you don't really get that throughout the middle of winter. In fact, in January, there's a fair amount of days where it's like 70-something degrees, and it's just nice.
Figure it out. Side note. And then, yeah, sorry, you go.
Okay, so we were thinking that this beauty room will actually be transformed into the nursery to start, because it's just like centrally located.
You got a Bowser shelf?
It can be really
Like
dark
it.
with that blackout blind, but it's also bright for if we just want to have like people over to visit the babies and hang out in here a lot. Once they move to this room, we can sleep in the like conjoined room, and then once they're a little bit older, they'll have like these two bedrooms that have this Jack and Jill bathroom. So the twin boys will share. Like,
did I just see what I think I saw?
Jack and Jill bathroom.
Nice, I did. It's a Rugrats jacket with Chucky. That's the shit.
So the twin boys will share like this room, the bathroom, and another room.
What I will say though is I'm also not opposed to having the boys share a room for a few years. Because, like, I loved sharing a room with my brother. I loved bunk beds, like, so many memories of, like, staying up late, watching TV, and, like, oh, I hope Dad isn't here. So, like, that also is something that we want to do, too. But when we have 4 kids...
Holy shit, Shane's got a plan, man. Ryland's getting blindsided. He didn't even know Shane had this plan for 4 kids or none of it. He's like, wow, Shane's really all in on this having a bunch of kids thing. He doesn't even know.
Look at it. Our first nursery decoration. The cut.
So cute.
We used to get little hangers for the little clothes. Okay, we haven't said the name yet. I don't know about the dead pig in between us. Okay, hold on. Well, okay, so obviously you guys know one of the babies is Jet, short for Jetson. And then on Easter, we were driving to my mom's house, and out of nowhere, I was like, oh my god. I think I know our kid's name. And you were like, what? And I was like, I don't know, it just came to me. I think we're going to have a son named Max. And then he was...
Look how excited he is about it.
I was at a coffee shop this morning, and the barista was named Max and had a name tag, and I looked at the name tag and I was like, wow, I love that name. And literally 3 hours later, he said, I think we should name a boy Max. And I was like...
Yeah, so Max and Jetson. Jetson Adams, yeah. Max Adams, yeah.
And I like that, like, their names in short are, like, Max and Jet. Both 3 letters, like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I guess Max is short for something, and I looked it up. Max is short for some crazy names. Maximilian, Maximus, Maxwell. So I don't know what the long version will be. Maybe we'll make one up.
Should be either Maximus or Maximilian, because then he sounds like a Roman emperor or something, and that's just cool. Let's face it. Like, it'd just be cool.
Or you just
because
keep it
there's
Max.
so many. Oh
Just
my gosh.
Max.
Oh my god! Tell me that's not a sign. The 2 twin pigs?
Another twins!
I swear to Christ, he's just looking for this shit. Oh my god, dude. They want to find signs absolutely everywhere, so they're finding them absolutely everywhere. You will find signs to help guide you to things and to help get you through stuff. For sure. But if you're just searching for it like they are, you're going to find them everywhere in a way that's absolutely ridiculous.
Are you serious? This is crazy. You guys.
It really is wild.
I know you guys are good. I mean, come on. Come on. What? This is
You
nuts.
bought those.
This is nuts. Now listen,
And you
once
put
again,
them
I don't wanna
both there.
jinx it. If something happens unfortunate. It'll be devastating. But, we're going to be so grateful to have a child. So I want to put that energy out there too, because
I also do think, like, implanting 2 embryos gives it, like, a universal element. Like, if one takes and the other doesn't, that's, like, what was meant to be for us. I mean, we're definitely, like, praying for 2, and we're, like...
The weird thing, though, is if one takes and one doesn't, it's so weird to talk about this, but I guess we should, because this is what it is, right? Science has evolved so much. It used to be they would put, like, 3 in because only one would take. Sometimes in rare cases there would be, triplets, but for the most part, because of science and where it was, 20 years ago, they would implant more embryos and hope for just one. Now he's like, what we implant, we're pretty sure we'll get unless something happens.
Yeah, so I would assume that the reason this has changed is because 20 years ago, when they were doing this toward the beginning of the efforts, they didn't know what looked like a good embryo, what looked like a bad embryo, but they observed the embryos, they put them in, they saw what happened, and then slowly over time they started saying, I think maybe this is not a good embryo and this one is, and then they did experiment more that way, and then they started figuring out, these are the signs of a good embryo, these are the signs of a bad embryo, like one that'll take, one that won't take, being good and bad. So I'd assume that that's how it works, because we, as human beings, we tend to figure things out through trial and error and observation, and that's really all science is.
So, like, if you do twins, you might get twins. And then I said, well, what happens if, worst case scenario, one of them doesn't work? And he's like, well, you won't know the biological father of the surviving one.
I mean, you could do genetic testing, and obviously I feel like
you maybe could tell from the faces.
I feel like we'll be able to know.
But even that I didn't hate. I was like, if that does happen, God forbid that happens, that is interesting. It's like, we have this son and we won't know which one, and it doesn't really even matter.
No, it doesn't really matter, and that's another thing. Like, if we only get one baby, implanting 2, it's like, that's what was meant to be. I really believe that, like, we've done what we can, and the rest is up to what will be.
We have so much to do. We have to turn this into a nursery. We have to get cute little hangers and a cute little clothing rack. We have to get custom blankets with Max and Jet on it. I've already bought Max.
We've already started today. Like, what do we actually need to have product-wise before the baby arrives for, like, the everyday, just, like, care of a...
Worry about things you actually need before you worry about extra shit. You don't really need a cute little child rack and cute little hangers. Okay? They don't need a million outfits. They're going to outgrow them incredibly fast. What you need is a fuck ton of diapers and wipes. You need baby food and formula. You need the essentials. You need, like, a crib. Right? Like, there are other things you could have that would be nice to have, like having more outfits, having some other stuff. Like, get a stroller. Get car seats. Like, get the things that you're absolutely going to need to have first. Because these things are also not as cheap as some people think. And, like, obviously these two are going to be able to afford whatever it is they want to do. I'm saying this for anybody who comes across this who is not in that position. Focus on the necessities first, the basic things. Food, clothing, which you don't need to have a whole lot of it. They're going to outgrow it quick. Just expect to do a lot of laundry because you're going to change their outfits 2 to 3 times a day, because sometimes kids' back door explodes on them and the diaper just can't contain everything. It's a mess. Sometimes they just, a little bit of spit up, a little bit of puke, whatever it is. It's a mess. Okay, it's a mess. So expect to have things like bibs, little spoons to help feed baby food with, bottles, things to clean bottles with. Look at the essentials. The things like, we need to have this cute thing for Max and Jet to put above their beds, and we need to have these hangers, and we need to have this. Like, those are not necessary. Those are extra things that you want to have a cute setup for your baby, the way it is in your head. But they're not necessary. Get those things after you know that you have the essentials covered.
an infant.
We need to start getting the dogs around some children
Mm-hmm.
and making sure it's okay. Obviously, like, you know, not like a rugby. You know what I mean? Like, the dogs need to meet some kids and like, go to the park more. We need to, like, just get
Yeah, you got to
everything ready.
socialize
This
your
is
animals.
happening. Isn't it crazy? Why am I not nervous? I feel like I'm such a nervous person. I'm not nervous at all.
No,
I'm so excited.
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm not nervous.
Now, if you have dogs, I will say this as well. Socializing them is a great idea, especially around kids. Because something that will alert your dog is kids running. And kids run all the time. So once they reach a point where they're able to run everywhere, and that's what they do is they run everywhere. If your dog's not just used to kids that run everywhere, your dog's going to think that they need to herd this kid around, and they might start trying to train the kid to not run, which the way dogs train puppies, they nip them with their teeth. It's not like a bite, but they will grab them with their front little chompers. Like, hey, cut it out. And you have to do that. You also need to be able to recognize with your dog when your dog is stressed out and has had enough. They just want to be alone and away from the chaos of children, because that will happen, and you're going to need to separate them.
Nervous, and maybe that will change like once we get closer, but right now I'm just very excited, and next week we'll meet our surrogate, the implantation will happen, and I just like, oh my gosh, it finally is starting to feel real. Wow. Crazy. Okay, well, I guess we'll check back in when we have an update of sorts.
We need to go crib shopping.
We gotta make a mood board for this room.
A mood board. See, that's unnecessary. Get a changing table. A changing table is unnecessary, but it'll be so helpful to have. Right? Like, a changing table is completely unnecessary. However, if you have a specific table for changing diapers on, you're also limiting where the mess is. Something else people don't think about. Get yourself a trash can specifically for diapers that's designed for diapers. They make these now. What this will do is keep your house from smelling like baby shit because you got dirty diapers and trash cans.
Alright, well, I guess we'll get started. Oh my gosh, Louie is checking out the baby clothes.
See, and they should also socialize the cat.
Of course, Cheeto
like
had
your
to
cats
inspect
as well.
the new clothing as well, and it is Cheeto approved.
Cheeto, do you approve? Are you excited to meet you? Oh my god. Look at Louie. Louie's like, huh?
Okay, so it's a couple days later, and Shane has already made quite a few more purchases. I swear, like, every time he walks into this house, he's like, guess what else came?
I know. I'm gonna stop. That's a lie. I already online shop last night at 3 in the morning. But I can't stop because it's so cute, and then the blankets. Oh my god, blanket reveal? Or are we waiting?
We'll do that on our way out, since we've kind of organized the stuff that you already got, but I was talking.
He's too emotionally driven with this purchasing. If he didn't have the money he has, this would be a real issue. I understand it's exciting. Control yourselves. Control yourselves. Or you're going to go broke. Because like I said, the stuff, not really cheap stuff to be getting. So, I understand everything's exciting if you find yourself in a position like this. But you do still have to be able to take care of the kid, and you're not going to be able to do that if you go bankrupt trying to get everything that the kid doesn't need. So, be responsible.
Talking to somebody who has, like, all of her friends are now moms, and she said the least important thing that you really need are the clothes, because, like, you just gather so many, whereas, like, the essentials that are on, like, the actual baby infant lists are the things that you need.
Well, lucky for you, I'm a prepared daddy. I have a list. Okay, so these are the equipment must-haves, the furniture must-haves, the clothing must-haves, the equipment nice to have, the furniture nice to have, and the clothing nice to have. And then my list in my head of everything we need.
And as we watch videos, as I talk to other people that are parents, I also have like a running list in my phone of like recommended brands that come up or products or things.
It's just we need a variety of nipples. I have both. Right? Both my nipples do not match. Is that what they mean? A variety of nipples. Oh, for the bottom.
Oh my god. He put it together right there at the end, right as I hit pause, but goddamn. I'm convinced Shane is the wife.
Diapers, we already have those. A car window.
We don't have those. We have a box of 12.
A breast pump. Okay, I know it's not something we need, but it's something I want to try.
What the fuck? You don't lactate. You don't. It's not even that you don't need it. It's that it's a complete waste for you.
So we're going out to Malibu. We're gonna go check out all the different like baby boutiques in the area, and just like start to get excited, start to shop and get things that
y'all been shopping and excited. What you mean?
Okay.
The fuck you mean, Willis?
They're waiting.
Yes, I mean you've ordered another, but yes. Okay.
With a graduate degree from Walden, you could make a real difference.
If you know what the fuck you want to go for, otherwise you're probably just wasting your money.
$25 a month.
Look, I finally...
Okay.
For dial-up.
Obviously, I've laid out everything we have. And I've also hung up what I'm calling the hero outfit. This is like the one. This is like the cutest. So everything needs to match this vibe. Over here, you can see I have our first diaper bag. This is rated the most popular, most useful diaper bag of 2023. So I bought one.
We do use like their bathroom travel bags, and I love those. So I can only imagine what they have for babies.
As you can see, the clothes all laid out, ready to be hung.
Oh my gosh, I literally almost died when I saw these because I know, like, people make fun of these, but they're my favorite. I love them. Little baby golden goose sneakers. Are you kidding me?
And
the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Look at the little Winnie the Pooh onesie. Oh, the animals are fighting. They're so jealous. Don't worry, you guys will always be our babies. Except not really. These are our real babies. Little Winnie the Pooh onesie. Oh, bother. Okay, and then the blanket. So Jet's blanket is on the way. But look at
now, here's the other thing. Y'all don't even know if the embryos are going to take, and you're already spending a bunch of money on a bunch of shit you may not even need. Like, extra. They're getting the extras, right, is my point in that statement. Like, you're buying things that aren't necessary for a baby that literally does not exist.
Blanket, and it's the little Winnie the Pooh. Don't you dare, Ryland. And then it's the Winnie the Pooh and bees, and then his name.
Wow. It is so cute. Shane's already predicting the personalities of each of the babies, so he's like, oh, I got this outfit for Jet, this outfit for Max.
But I'm willing to, I'm open for change. I'm not going to be one of those dads who's forcing my kid to do things. But my intuition, my mommy intuition, is telling
Told
me
you he's
that
the
Max
wife.
is going to be artsy and Jet is going to be surfy. And that's just what I'm thinking. So that's the vibe.
He did also get this cute bear.
Oh, and the giraffe. The little giraffe that holds blankets.
That is so cute. That's like the first item for the nursery, for like the design of the room.
And then this is something we're not going to tell anybody we got, except for right now because I'm showing you. I got a Burberry bib.
Oh.
And I only got it because I wanted to call it a Burberry. Listen, it was expensive. But it wasn't crazy. It's very stupid. This is stupid. This is not a need. This is not even a must. This is we should return this.
But we will get a lot of use out of this. I was FaceTiming my mom and showing her the baby clothes, and she was, is that a Burberry bib?
Yes,
the giraffe thing isn't bad at all.
Feels good. It's catching the...
Like, that giraffe thing would actually come in with usefulness in a variety of different ways for a variety of different things. It could actually be used in so many different ways than they are. But, I mean... They got it for that purpose, and it works out fine.
Food. Listen, could we have bought like a few tubs of diapers? Probably. But is this going to be something we keep forever and ever and ever? We should frame it. Oh.
We are going to be those people with like a museum of our baby stuff
that
our baby has grown out of just because we think it's so adorable and cute.
Let's go.
Alright. I don't know exactly what's in here, but I guess we're just going to find out.
Barefoot dreams. Bare feet are a nightmare. Dad joke.
Oh my gosh, they have dog beds.
It's so different shopping in real life. Shopping online, it's like not real. Shopping in real life, you're like, oh my god, this is crazy.
It's not crazy, it's the same thing.
Oh my gosh, it is a huge day for us because today is actually our embryo transfer day. Our surrogate is in town. We're gonna get her, go to breakfast, and then go to the clinic with her. We're literally like right on time though, so we've got to go right this second.
Okay, I had dreams all night last night. I was watching kid movies last night. I do not watch kid movies. I'm not a kid movie person. I watched Shrek last night. And then last night, all I kept thinking was, oh my god, when we have a kid, we're going to watch Shrek. It was just so cute. And I was just so excited. And I had dreams all night about this. And it went really well.
You can't convince me he's not the wife.
Usually bad things happen after I have bad dreams. I had good dreams, so good things
It's
are gonna happen.
hilarious.
We are manifesting. Thank you, God. We're going to have 2 babies. Okay.
I only woke up once, like, kind of freaking out, like, oh my gosh, like, ah! But then I woke up at like 6 a.m. and I just sat in bed, turning with excitement. Almost like Christmas morning excitement when you're a kid, just like, oh my gosh, everything's been leading up to this day and it's finally here. I couldn't sleep because I was so excited. Okay. We have got to get out of here.
I mean, that's probably the least surprising thing I've heard throughout pretty much the whole video, because of the fact that they've been so excited the whole time that now that it's time for the embryo transfer, it would make perfect sense that they're losing their shit.
It's about an hour away from us, so let's go!
Okay, so we're in the lobby. We picked her up, we had lunch, we hung out, we love her so much.
I can't believe it's like 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna go back there and we're gonna see the whole process. I don't know if we're gonna film anything. That feels just weird to do that, but maybe, I don't know.
That'd be really weird. I also think it's really strange, like, are they using a filter to have it look like an old school camera, or are they using like an actual camera in the hospital to do this?
But yeah, I think we're gonna see the embryos, like we're gonna see what they look like, which is crazy.
It's weird.
And yeah, and we haven't talked about filming or anything. She's said in her file that she's comfortable if we ever film her, but we just want to get her to know her off camera, obviously. But we really like her a lot.
Filming her and like posting her shit on the internet's not the same.
Okay.
It's just not.
There is absolutely nothing going on with me romantically.
Great. Can I buy you a drink after this?
I'd like that.
No.
So we didn't even talk about the whole everything, right?
I think the day was just like so amazing and incredible that by the time both of us got home, we were just like drained and wanted to like drained in the best way, but just wanted to like sit in all of it. But yeah, we went and we picked her up from her hotel. Like, best case scenario, we both immediately like felt connected and were like, oh, this was like the perfect fit for us. Yeah. We went to breakfast.
Which is big for me. I don't do that. Food when I wake up? Are you serious?
And he ate too. I was like, Shane, just suck it up and get a latte or something. And you ate.
I did. She's very willing to be a part of vlogs, and she was like, I know this is what you guys do, but we don't know if that's weird, so we're kind of in a weird place with that.
I'm sure as we get closer, you'll at least meet her or see her. I'm sure you'll see pictures or something at some point.
But she reminds me so much of like.
I don't know if I will because I don't
we
care.
We just instantly clicked. Same sense of humor. So soft spoken and sweet and funny and like has a 10-year-old girl herself, so she was giving us all these advice and parenting tips, and I don't know, just like perfect best case scenario.
Makes sense.
And then the transfer obviously happened, and then we went back to our hotel room after, got food again, and just hung out for the rest of the day. And it was just like so incredible. Right after the procedure happened, the doctor said in terms of like visibility and placement, it was like textbook perfect, this procedure.
That was so crazy too, because I don't know if we filmed any of this, but well, I think I filmed the FaceTime just for us, but I guess we can show some of it. But
well, the reason we weren't together in the room is because they said it was too small of a room, and there were 3 of the doctors and the assistants plus our surrogate. So Shane told me to go in, so I FaceTimed Shane the whole time, and that's why we have the recording, which honestly, thank God, because now we do have that recording for us to look back on.
Yeah, and that...
I mean, it also just makes sense. Like, hospital rooms aren't large. They're pretty fucking small. So you've also got the doctors and the nurses in there doing their job, and you need to not be in the way. Like, if you want this to go correctly, you just kind of have to roll with it the way they did and not throw a fit. And I know a lot of people that would throw a fit.
That was the best moment of my life, I would say, because it was like, I can't explain it, but it was like a movie. Like, on the screen, they put up our embryos and they showed them next to each other, and then they put them in her, and like, it felt like a movie, and I was just crying in the hallway on FaceTime. It was so crazy and weird. The whole thing was insane, and I just knew, like, the second it happened, I was like, those are our boys, it's happening. And then we have to get frames because they gave us pictures.
So these are when they took them out of the freezer the morning of, as they defrosted, I mean, that's literally what it is. So this is them. They weren't this smush when they were put in. That's what he's literally, the nurse was like, I don't know the terminology, but you know what I mean. He was like, they weren't like this by the time they went in. But we have those pictures, and what's so crazy is it looked like a movie set in there. Like the lights and the temperature. I just felt like
The lights
weren't like this by the time they went in. But lights and...
That's just a normal surgical light. That's not movies. That's literally just, that's what they have. They have that at the dentist office. The hell? It looked like a movie setup. No, it doesn't. It looks like a doctor's office where they do doctor stuff on patients.
And the temperature. I just felt like I was inside of a Ryan Murphy show, which is like insane.
What the hell?
What are we going to do? We're literally going to have babies. What are we going to do?
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
They legitimately live in their own universe of madness. It is entertaining. It's definitely entertaining. I don't know if that's like the best day of our lives quality of like a day. I'll give it that for sure. It was a good video though. So I don't know if I'd call it like the best day of our lives. I mean, like, if that's the best day of your lives, how shitty are you gonna feel if one of those embryos doesn't take? Or like there's a miscarriage. Like things that we don't want to hear about happening, obviously. Even as someone who doesn't know either of them or the surrogate at all. It's just something that happens in pregnancies of all kinds. So